Hello and welcome to this weekend's weather outlook. Before we get started with this weekend's weather, today was a really nice clear day. Unfortunately, you can see all the snow cover that is still around, and unfortunately, it really is limiting as to what you can do. And if we didn't have all this icy, if it was just regular snow, it'd be one thing, but it's icy. It's like walking in cement, and I couldn't really do any hikes today because of it. It really sucks. So I did wind up just going to Pine Lawn for a little bit. So we had the clear sky. There was some scattered junk around, some scattered jet junk, but other than that, it was a very nice, clear, fairly seasonably chilly day. Things are going to be changing, though. We got another big storm and more freaking wind coming again. It's nice having light winds and absolutely bitterly cold weather. And you can see if we go here, we've got an extreme cold watch now in effect for our area. So an extreme cold watch is going to be in effect for Saturday evening through Sunday afternoon. And let's get to the one for our area here. So from Saturday evening through Sunday afternoon, dangerously cold wind chills of 15 below possible. And this is from Saturday evening until early Sunday afternoon. The cold front wind chills could result in hypothermia. All right, so this is the kind of conditions we're going to have. It's going to be the most brutal day that we've ever faced yet. So we've got the dangerous wind chills this weekend here. Here's the briefing about it. Wind chills of 15 below for Long Island and for Saturday night. Saturday night is going to be unbelievably bad. Not going to be able to walk around much with those kind of conditions. Wind chills Sunday night will be 5 to 15 0 to 10 net below for our area for New York City. So still going to be dealing with wind Sunday night. The actual air temperatures Saturday night are going to be 4 to 9 degrees for Long Island. But Sunday night, the temperatures could be 7 to 11 degrees. But again, if there's radiational cooling, and these are the winds that they're predicting right now. Saturday night, northwest winds 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts to 30 to 40. And then Sunday night, still dealing with northwest winds 5 to 15 with gusts up to 20. So there won't be any radiational cooling, but it's still going to be cold. And then we also have light snow that is going to be accompanying this cold front with 1 to 2 inches possible. This is a map of the wind chills, the minimum wind chill forecast, and then the worst wind chill, low temperature forecast here. Still doesn't get us below zero Saturday night, believe it or not, though. If there's radiational cooling Sunday night, it's possible. And then there's the snowfall map that they have. I'm not going to draw one. Generally, we could see a little bit of snow here, like a coating to maybe an inch or two, with this Arctic front that's going to be passing. And today was very nice, and I did go to Pine Lawn for a little bit, and I went off the path for a little bit off the paved road, just for a little bit. It was walking in this stuff was just freaking believably hard. Nice pines though. But really, look at that. All this stuff here you see here is just so. It's ice, and then you fall through. It's like walking in cement. That's hard on the top, but not solid on the bottom. That's what it's like. It's awful. It's some of the worst conditions I've ever had to deal with. But we wanted to see some of these beautiful pines, so we had to kind of brave it for a little bit at least. And then tonight. Tonight is wonderful. It's one of those nights where it's just nice and clear and not a lot of wind, which is very nice. So really nice. You can see, and this is a pine somewhere in North Belmore. I'm not going to say where. So, unfortunately, there used to be more pines in North Belmore. People cutting them down, and I've spoken about that. Really shouldn't be allowed to do that. But anyway. Going over our current conditions right now. It's 27 at Farmingdale, 21. Still showing a little bit of wind out there, 5 mile an hour wind at Islip, 21. So still a little bit of wind. West Hampton, though, is down to 12. So it looks like they are calm. And they're not reporting any wind, which means they are probably going to get some really cold radiational cooling. It looks like it got down to 0 at West Hampton this morning. You can see there's that extreme cold watch that we have in effect for our entire area, and in addition to that, a high wind watch in effect for the Jersey Shore for Saturday morning through Saturday evening. So you're going to have high winds and these very low temperatures that we're going to have. Looks like Miller Air Park is down to 12. They got down to 9 this morning. So we'll put the lows on the screen here first. And you can see that 0 at West Hampton, 9 at I guess that's Shirley Airport there, Brookhaven, Calabro Airport, 14 at Islip. It was a pretty chilly night. Looks like it got down to, it's hard with this color on here. See where, I think that's 16 at Farmingdale. Of course, my alley only got to the 20s, mid to upper 20s. That was it. Alaguadra got to 21. Central Park got down to 20, 19 at JFK. And then you could see most areas were in the teens, but some of the cooler areas in Pine Barrens radiated a little bit. Not as much radiational cooling in Jersey. I think Long Island did. West Hampton's the cold spot with the 0 once again. Often West Hampton is the coldest spot, and that happened again this morning. So highs today, we're in the low 30s. Generally, it looks like it did get to 32 at Farmingdale. Only 30 at Islip. West Hampton got to 31, 32 at LaGuardia, 32 at JFK, 32 at Central Park. So getting close to the freezing mark, 32 in Miller Air Park as well. So we'll go over our statistics for the day. Islip. And we had a high of 30 and a low of 14, according to this. So we were 10 degrees below normal for the day. Yeah, 10 degrees below normal again. So pretty cold again. And it's going to get a whole lot colder once this Arctic front comes through. So let's go to our larger satellite. And you can see here's a big storm offshore. That stays well offshore. But this is the Arctic front that's going to be passing. And there's a little bit of, it's like a clipper type system, basically, a little impulse that's going to come through. And it's actually going to create some snowfall, a light area of snow that might even be some snow squalls, perhaps, with this. Looking at our weather map, you see there's that low offshore. We'll go to the surface analysis. You see here's the Arctic front right up here, so coming past Hudson Bay. So that's what's going to be diving down and bringing us that really bitterly cold and windy weather, because we're going to be dealing with a low pressure system that's going to be, it's not going to be this low pressure. It's going to be another one that's going to be forming. You can see that low is well offshore, and it's not going to be bothering anyone for this weekend. So let's go ahead and we'll change this to the eastern U.S. region just to give us a little bit of a closer view as to what's going to be happening. Starting with the GFS, that low moves away. That's not it really does bomb out when it's out over the water, but this is the disturbance here, this trough that comes through with the Arctic front. And so we're dry tomorrow, just more clouds, and then overnight, tomorrow night into Saturday morning, this Arctic front is actually going to have a coastal low develop well offshore, but it's going to create like a trough line, and that will create some snowfall with that trough line, and that is why we're going to see some snowfall. And I tend to think the heaviest amounts would be off to the east, so we'll look at that in a moment. But you'll see here, there's your storm, and you can see what happens, that Arctic high, and then this storm bombs out, and you can see we've got a big pressure gradient later Saturday into Sunday, still a pressure gradient. And then finally, we start seeing things relax as we get toward next week. But the Arctic air is going to be staying with us. We'll look at the European model now. Similar deal here is the European. There's that little trough that comes through. That low kind of, and that pressure gradient is. Now what's going to happen is, as this thing develops, it's going to create like a trough right here, and that the east end of Long Island may see snowfall linger into Saturday, perhaps Saturday afternoon. And look like it even tries to come back, but look at how tight those isobars are over Long Island. So that means a lot of wind, and I think we'll at the very least need a wind advisory for Saturday. But also these wind chills are going to be absolutely unbelievable. You can see Sunday still dealing with tight isobars, still dealing with wind on Sunday. It'll still feel pretty bad. It's not until Monday when we start seeing these winds kind of subside here. So that's what we're looking at on our models here. So the Arctic air is going to be coming in. We'll look at our dew points and wind flow here on this scale, and then I'll go to a closer scale. But you'll see we have the north winds tomorrow. We stay in the similar areas tomorrow. Northeast winds. The winds aren't too bad, but then look what happens. Here comes the Arctic air here. We're looking at dew points, but look at that Arctic air just surge on down, mainly over the Northeast, coming right out of Hudson Bay Saturday, and then Sunday. Really going to have those dew points very low, and that also continues into Monday, and then starts to subside a little bit. So we'll take a closer look at the temperatures here. Temperature anomaly, actually. Let's do the temperature anomaly. Just kind of show you this plunge here. There it is. Look at that. So it is Saturday, Sunday. Boom. That's going to be some really cold, the coldest weather we've had of the season, for sure. And it's going to be quite cold, as you can see. Look at that. So let's go to the HRRR. Go to the HRRR to start here, and we'll look at our precipitation for the first part. So again, see what happens tomorrow. We're dry most of the day, but as you get toward the evening, you're going to have some light snow breakout. It's very light snow. It doesn't look too heavy, according to the HRRR. But look what happens. It looks like it's going to end by Saturday morning. But then you get this trough setting up, and there could be a squall along that chart. You can see right here. So that squall, most likely to hit the east end, probably. But that could bring some periods of very light snow. It's going to be a very powdery snow. Finally, a powdery snow, right? Unfortunately, the damage is done with all this icy cement that's over us. It's not going anywhere and keeping me from hiking, even though we've had so much nice sunny weather. That's what it's looking like here. We'll go to the total snowfall map here, and you can see it's really not a whole lot. Honestly, the HRRR has I think a coating to an inch will suffice for most of the area. But the east end, particularly Montauk, could see closer to possibly 3 inches. That's what I'm thinking right now. Maybe I will draw a snowfall map out tomorrow, because we're going to be having to do another weather video tomorrow because of all this stuff. But that's what the HRRR is showing. Show you the dew points and wind flow, and it can show you this Arctic front coming through. So here we go. We got the northeast winds tomorrow to start, and then they become light and then westerly. I hope they don't go southwesterly, because then I got to deal with the furnace exhaust. You can see here that there's that Arctic front coming through. Here we are, Saturday. You can see, look at those dew points dropping over New Jersey first. But you see, look at what happens. The colder air actually seems to want to be set up over New Jersey, and it's like this Arctic front actually kind of stalls over us. This is a very strange situation, because there's a trough there, and that could be a focal point for some snowfall. And you can see here, it doesn't really come in until we get toward later Saturday to Sunday, when you see these lower dew points start coming into Long Island. And you see those dew points below zero. There. All right. So with that kind of setup, and as far as tonight goes, the lows will probably be in the teens. But again, I think some of the areas where there's radiational cooling in the Pine Barrens, where the clouds come in, could get close to zero. Tomorrow, similar temperatures to today, probably around 30 degrees. It won't feel too bad. And even tomorrow night won't feel too bad. It'll probably drop into the 20s and maybe teens. But then look at what happens Saturday morning. So you can see the Arctic air coming in. First off to the west, it's going to be colder in Toms River than it will be on Long Island for at least part of Saturday, believe it or not. Jersey is going to probably drop under a blustery wind, probably teens and maybe even single digits by later Saturday afternoon, while we'll be having teens over probably Nassau County, Western Suffolk, but Montauk could be much higher to the upper 20s. And then tomorrow night, it's a very strange shaped trough. And look what happens. And then Saturday night, this is when the cold air really comes in. The HRRR being pretty aggressive with getting those temperatures down to possibly near zero. This is only Saturday night at like 8 o'clock, so 7, 8 o'clock, and there's going to be a wind to go along with it. So that's why it's going to feel absolutely awful out there. All right, this is what the HRRR is showing, at least. All right, this is one model that we're looking at here. All right, so let's go look at the NAM next. All right, and we'll take a look at the NAM as well and see. It probably has a similar temperature profile. Boom, there it comes. Boom, look at that. Again, similar temperature profile. Boom, it comes in, and then look at that. Yeah, it's going to be very cold by Sunday morning, right around 0 degrees probably. All right, let's look and see how this handles the snowfall. So tomorrow again, we're mostly dry, but the snow does start moving in later on. NAM's a little bit heavier with it. See, maybe it's got some snow squalls in there, perhaps. All right, this is Saturday morning. It'll be overnight. There's the chance of a snow squall. Particularly the best chance is east. There's a low, and you can see kind of that trough kind of tries to back and then pivot back a little bit. So, and yeah, Saturday will feature plenty of clouds, and there could still be some flurries in the air. And then let's see what the NAM has total snowfall. If you're going to be a little bit higher, similar to coating to an inch. That's what I'm going to go with coating to an inch. Honestly, even though you have these snow squalls, I don't think they're going to last very long, and I really don't see it being that much more than that. But it will stick to everything because it's plenty cold enough, obviously. Next, let's go to the. We'll go to the. So generally, it's what I'm thinking right now. I think we've been through. Let's look at the GFS snowfall amounts. That's also similar. Icon snowfall amounts. All right, that doesn't go far enough out. Let's go back to the. Let's go to the NAM 12. See if the NAM 12 looks any different. See maybe a little bit more toward the east end, perhaps. But other than that, this is what the NAM 12 shows. So we can also look at the FGen as well. There's not really a whole lot of it here, so that's the point. There's not a whole lot. So the snow, there could be a snow squall or two, but it all depends on how this sets up. It looks like a more of a broad area type of thing. I really don't see. We got one more model. Look at HDRPS. Let's go to that one. I have to look at the 18Z run for this. So let's see what the HDRPS shows. Yeah, there's that little light snow, and then you can see it kind of redevelops. But the darker blues seem to stay over like Suffolk County. So I'm thinking that's where the heavier snow would wind up being. We can look at total snowfall on this as well. Yeah, it tends to be. I tend to agree with this type of setup here. That I think Suffolk County, 2 inches. Jersey tends to get more like a coating, I think. It would be more like East End, maybe see 2 inches. But I don't think anyone's going to see any more than that. But it's just going to add to the snowpack that just won't go away. But at least this will be fluffy snow. Due to the very low air temperatures and low dew points. No mixing involved here this time. And we can also look at the European as well. And you can see how that darker blue tends to set up over Suffolk County. So that's where I tend to think there would be higher snowfall amounts. Total accumulated precip here. You can see where that stripe of heavier precipitation is. Because there's not a whole lot of moisture to work with. This is the 700 to 300 relative humidity. No tropical connection. There is a little bit. Yeah, there's a little tongue right there. A little tongue. But then the dry air comes in by later Saturday afternoon. So, but these dew points and the winds will go to the dew points and wind flow here again. You can see that. Boom. It comes in Saturday. Dew points drop. We're in the Arctic air. Northwest winds. Sunday, we got a northwest wind. Dew points again. Below zero dew points. And those winds are going to be going too. We have to go over that too as well. And then Monday, it starts to ease a little bit. So let's go and look at our air temperatures here, and you'll see what I mean here with these air temperatures dropping. So by Saturday night, we're already at zero in Jersey or close to it, according to maybe single digits to around zero. And then Sunday morning, it's possible we could get below zero. It's very possible. It could happen. Really, the Weather Service doesn't seem to think it will happen. I think it's most likely could happen perhaps over Jersey where it could get below zero, perhaps to zero. There is wind, so it won't be radiational cooling. It's cold air advection. But it is coming right out of the north, right out of Hudson Bay. And then as we get towards Sunday, we're still struggling to get through the single digits. And we may not even see teens. I think more likely to see teens if you're maybe in Jersey, maybe low teens. But it'll be struggling to get to the teens. It really is going to be a struggle just to get there. It's going to be the coldest day we've had all year long. And then Sunday night, if we have the winds will probably still be an issue. So we're going to still see those temperatures by Monday morning. Look at this dropping again, perhaps below 0 to 0 or close to 0. This is a really cold air mass. Here we go, Monday. Monday morning, still very bitterly cold. Expect a lot of issues. And then we finally do recover to getting close to the low 20s on Monday, according to the European. So that's what it's looking like with this. We're still going to go over the wind, too. So let's go over the skies next, and then we're going to go to some of the other sites and look at the wind. Obviously, plenty of clouds tomorrow. We'll get plenty of high clouds. There might still be some heavily filtered sunshine. And then Saturday, we'll have clouds and maybe some breaks, but I think the clouds went out. But then as you get toward the evening, it clears out over New Jersey. Clouds still linger over Long Island. And then for Sunday, we should be mostly sunny. We do have to watch this area of cirrus that might try to make its way into New Jersey. There's a little wave here. But for Long Island, it looks like it would stay clear. According to this model, the models kind of disagree on what's going to happen with that. This is the 0Z run of the RGM, so that's as far out as it goes to Monday morning. It's like a little impulse there, whatever, that dives down. We can look at the NAM and see if that looks any different. It doesn't go out as far for Sunday, but here's the NAM, and you can sort of see. You can see the ocean effect too. Might even be some sea smoke, perhaps. Though you really, if there's a lot of wind, it makes it hard to get sea smoke. But we'll have to see if we get any of that or not. It was cool when they got it in Florida, right? So that's what the NAM looks like Sunday morning. And let's now take a look and see just how bad it's going to be. So let's go to windy.com as far as the wind chills go, all right? Because this is what it's all going to be about on Saturday. So here we go. You can see these are the sustained winds that we have, but we got to look at wind gusts. And this is what the wind gusts are on the Euro. And you can see here winds gusting into the 40s. I think a wind advisory is going to be for all areas Saturday. Saturday is going to be very, very windy and very difficult to be outside because you have these winds, but then the temperature is only in the teens. So you have these winds, but the temperatures are only in the teens. And you'll have a decent amount of clouds around, too, so the sun won't even be out. It's going to feel really just unbelievably bad. They don't have a wind chill. They don't actually have all the products they have, and they don't have an actual wind chill product, which is kind of weird. I don't see that here. Interesting that they don't have that. But maybe I'm missing it. But you can see these wind gusts are going to be pretty bad. And they continue into the evening. We're still dealing with these winds gusting possibly up to 50 miles an hour with these temperatures. And here we are, 7 p.m. Saturday night, still dealing with wind gusts around 40 to 45 miles an hour. And again, look at the temperatures now. According to this, oops, we've got a fail. It's not displaying the temperatures, but it has it around 10 degrees. 10 degrees and 6 degrees if you're in Jersey. So, and then as we go to Sunday morning, you get up Sunday morning, 6 a.m., we've got temperatures around 4 degrees, but the wind is still going to be blowing. We're still going to have wind gusts 35 miles an hour. So this is going to be pretty bad. It will be sunny, but it's going to be having a few more clouds over Long Island. But if we go to the middle of the day here, let's pick 11 o'clock. These winds are still going 30s, a little bit less over New Jersey, but still going to be, because the temperatures are still going to be, I don't know why the temperature's not showing here, but 6 degrees at 11 a.m. Going to be really tough to deal with. 2 p.m. Or 13 degrees, 14 on Long Island, but the wind gusts are still gusting close to 30 miles an hour, 29 miles an hour. So this is going to be really tough to deal with this kind of wind. So that's the issue that we're going to have. These winds are going to be bad. This is one model. This is the European. Let's go change this to the NAM model, which we know likes to go off the wall with the winds. So let's see what the NAM model has here. See if we see anything crazier on the NAM. I don't think we're going to see like 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. The high wind warning, I know they have a high wind watch. I don't think we're going to get to the point of needing a high wind warning, but the GFS here as well. But I'll go back to the European. But I think we're going to have just insane wind chills, basically, from this. So let's go to Ventu Sky. Will be our other site we can look at here and see what this looks like for. Again, we're looking at the winds. And Saturday. And again, this is a Saturday night, 7 p.m. The temperature's in the single digits. And the wind gusts are going to be gusting. Here we go, 43 miles an hour. This is Saturday. So these winds are going to be insane. And that is the issue here. We have these very strong winds. And the snow will probably blow around, even though it won't be much. There'll probably be some blowing snow around, too. With the snow, we get that coating to an inch or so that we might get to see from that little light snowfall that we're going to have. But these winds are going to be absolutely insane. Feels like temperature. Okay, here we go. So, all right, so it does have a feels like temperature of 12 below, 13 below on Long Island at 7 p.m. And it's only going to get worse as the evening goes on. 15 below. Sunday morning is probably going to be 13 below, 15 below. These are the feels like temperatures. And then in the middle of Sunday, it's still going to feel like you're around 0. As maybe a little bit better if you're further to the west versus on Long Island where there'll be a little more wind. But this is going to be some really brutal stuff. Here you go. It's 27 Sunday. Sunday the winds are a little. Probably won't need the wind advisory Sunday, but the problem is probably going to still need like a wind chill advisory because the wind chills are going to make it feel just unbearable. All right. And we go. So that's pretty much what we got. And I'll go back to windy. We can look at one more thing we can look at is the what the European is saying for snowfall. Again, I don't truly see. I'm not drawing a map because I don't think there's going to be huge variations. And so we go to new snow, and we'll just put this in here and see what it has. Yeah, basically just a coating, and then the east end tend to see a little bit more. So most of us, Suffolk County might get an inch, Nassau maybe a half an inch. Or maybe I'll draw one up tomorrow night, but you can see a little less off to the west, more off to the northeast, Montauk. This could be where it picks up a little energy from the ocean, perhaps. And intensifies a little more and creates a little more snowfall there. But again, these wind chills are going to be absolutely crazy. So this is what happens when you have a tight pressure gradient. That's what we're going to be dealing with. So with that, have a good night. And, one more day, and then it's going to be a really extreme Saturday and Sunday. You have to go out there, just bundle up. And I like to go out there and walk around, but it's going to be a challenge even for me. So, anyway, have a good night.